You are listening to the Outlaw Podcast with me, your host, Andrea Hall. I am a certified equine gestalt coach, speaker, 3-time author, and lawyer. I help women lawyers who are miserable in their career, struggling with mental and emotional health issues, wanting to have fun in their lives, and struggling to be selfish. After fulfilling my dream of being a criminal defense attorney and opening my own law practice right out of law school, I thought I had it all. While at the height of my career, my 18-month-old puppy died, and I thought, what am I killing myself for? Sometime later, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and my world turned upside down. It was in that moment I realized something had to change. This podcast is about sharing my journey with you about what is possible in your life outside the legal profession, stopping the adulting and being able to play as a child, inspiring you to dream again. Let the journey begin.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Outlaw. I'm your host, Andrea Hall. As you can tell in my voice, I am not feeling well and I'm on the verge of losing my voice. However, pretty sure I don't have the virus. I'm not running a fever or anything of that nature. However, I am staying home and taking care of myself, drinking lots of hot tea and using essential oils and things of that nature. So, however, I wanted to address this issue of drinking from a fire hose. In the last 48 hours, it feels like weeks have gone by and things are changing rapidly, minute by minute. We are really on the edge with everything for the simple fact that we don't know what's going to happen today. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And sometimes it feels like we don't even know what's going to happen 5 minutes from now. And this has been a huge lesson in watching my colleagues in the legal industry and how ill-prepared I think some people are, and how grateful I am for the things that I have implemented and put into place a long time ago in my law practice. And when I think about that time frame, it really started back when I first was diagnosed with my brain tumor and how I started to simplify my life and how I started to think outside the box in what I could do differently so that I could potentially still keep my head above water and not force myself into bankruptcy. And some of those things were having a virtual office. Do I really need to meet with clients in a brick and mortar? Or can I use a brick and mortar that actually belongs to somebody else and only pay for that space when it's necessary instead of being there 24/7 and paying for space that I don't need 24/7? However, what I'm finding is that a lot of lawyers don't have the self-discipline to be able to work from home, for one, or two, there is distractions at home. Like right now, partners are having to work at home and the other partner is also there, right? Or the kids are there. Or they get distracted because now it's time to cook supper, or someone's hungry, or the laundry just went off, or the doorbell rang. These are all things that they're not typically used to because they're working away from home. As well as there is a lot of lawyers that are really worried about how they're going to pay those bills. And by having an office space that you're having to pay for, it really forces you to take clients that you may not necessarily want to take. However, you have bills to pay, especially now in this time where you're not necessarily able to meet with clients, right? And what are the clients actually paying for? They're paying for you, and they're paying for your time. They're not having to pay for the beautiful leather chairs that they sit on, or the couch, or the beautiful paintings that they see when they walk in to the office. Yet, unfortunately, I think that's a facade that we've learned through law school, or what the typical law office looks like. And I don't believe, or at least clients in my industry, don't want to be paying for that beautiful office, that marble desk. All they care about is who they're hiring and what you can do for them, not the beautiful chairs that they sit in, and not the beautiful painting that's hanging on the wall, and all of the support staff that you have. So now is a huge time for you to look at that and decide, is that something you need moving forward, or is that a luxury that you can get away with? And if it's a luxury you can get away with, then how do you look at balancing what you need to do in order to have a home office? What support do you need to have in place so that you're able to work at home and feel like you're supported and not be distracted by the kids or your spouse or the laundry, or it's time to cook dinner, things of that nature? Change is not easy, and it never comes at a convenient time. And this was a conversation I was having with someone today, and she's actually looking for a job. And she said, it's a struggle right now. And I said, you know what? Now's a perfect time to think outside the box. What tools do you already have that you can support this industry with? And she immediately went, oh my God, you've given me a great idea. Even though she was still positive and said there's somebody out there that needs what I have, she immediately, just after that conversation, had a realization of how she could potentially consult and be a consultant for people in this time of need. Because let's face it, there is going to be lots of people that are going to need to shift and change, right? And even though I use a lot of technology in my day-to-day life as a lawyer, today I had a huge learning curve with another piece of technology. I was not used to using Zoom, and I realized that I started this Zoom call and people weren't able to get into it. So this is also a time for us to learn new things. This is an opportunity to discover things that will help you be successful in the future. This is an opportunity for you to invent things. This is a time when the world is shifting and changing, and there are going to be so many great things that come out of this situation. And so I encourage you to look at the things that you already have, that you might not even realize that you have in your toolbox, for you to be successful, for you to be creative, for you to think outside the box. And again, yes, there are so many things that are going to be different, yet there's so many ways to look at this. And right now, as I stated in a previous episode, our fear factor is up here right now. And you need to get grounded and centered so that you can get out of that fight or flight mode, so that your adrenal glands don't get shot, so your immune system doesn't get run down, so that you're actually able to get out of that fog and get back into a mode of creating again. And that's what I really want you to focus on, because I know, like everybody, we're all drinking from a fire hose. Like I said, things are changing rapidly. We never know from minute to minute what's going to happen. In fact, I just had a phone call today with one of the court clerks, and I said, do we know what's happening next week? And he said, no, I'm waiting on a phone call, right? And it's not even consistent from courtroom to courtroom in the same jurisdiction. Unfortunately, everybody is running around with their hair on fire at this point in time. So the more that you can get your body to de-escalate, the easier it's going to be for you moving forward. So I encourage you to tune in to our daily meditations to find other people that can help support you staying in a more relaxed and calm environment and state of mind during this time of huge transition. And take this opportunity to look at the glass half full instead of half empty. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Outlaw.
Thanks for tuning into another episode of Outlaw. There is life after litigation. If anything I said in this episode resonates with you, call for a free exploratory session to see how I can help you. My horses will give you instantaneous feedback, unlike traditional talk therapy. You will shift your awareness into real time with the help of a horse. The horses are like lie detectors, flushing out limiting beliefs with a swish of their tail, a shift of their 1,200-pound body, or a simple unwillingness to move. Horses have a way of seeing into the window of our souls. Horses have been connected to humanity since the dawn of time. Their hearts can heal and mend our broken hearts. Simply standing in their presence can change our lives forever, putting the puzzle pieces back together and returning us to wholeness. Horses are restoring the parts of us that have been missing. You can call us at 970-682-4405 to set up your appointment today. Want to be inspired daily? See about our latest events or purchase a copy of my books? Go to our website at www.witherswhisper.com. That's www.witherswhisper.com. Or you can follow us on any social media venue at Withers Whisper. Until the next episode, listen to the whispers.